Welcome to another episode of Soul Flow Conversations. I am your host, Dedrick, the Cookie Man, and my absolutely amazing co-host, the phenomenal Mrs. Fields. Yes, you see it, you see it. So tonight we're going to be discussing. We're going to start with discussing. What keeps you motivated. What keeps you grounded through all of your challenges and things like that. And then we're going to kind of segue into some other topics, and whatnot. But in a time such as these, sometimes it helps to get perspectives on what keeps us motivated, what keeps us pushing forward, and what keeps us grounded through all of this mess that's going on in the world and in our personal lives and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to start off talking about today. And thank you so much for joining us once again. I am your host, Dedrick, and the phenomenal Jessica. so, um, so I'll start. I'll
You
ask
you
Jessica.
start because my ducks are making noise.
Oh, okay. So here's the deal. For me, I've had so many different setbacks, so many different challenges, so many losses that I've taken in my life, so many shocks to the system that I've taken in my life. I've had things, and if you know anything about our previous episodes, I have shared that DNA determined that two of my daughters at the time was not my daughters. There was also times that I've lost everything that I own, almost everything that I own. There's been a lot of different challenges and setbacks that I've had in my life. But the thing that keeps me going, first of all, is my life is centered in God. You know what I'm saying? I have a God led life, and He keeps me purpose driven. And when I had my son, when my son was born, should I say, 'cause I didn't have him, um, uh, it gave me a new motivation because now I was living my life for something bigger than me, something more than me, and stuff like that. So my son, my child, was one of those motivations and everything. Now I've always had motivation for my own life. Let's just be very very clear. But when you have to live your life for someone else as well, it keeps you quite motivated in ways you never saw before. So for me, I would say that um, you know you put things in a perspective that you never had to put into perspective for yourself, because you're no longer living your life for yourself anymore. You're living your life for another human being that you are responsible for. You understand what I'm saying? Now, and then when I met my amazing companion and lady, she brought out a new motivation because I wanted to give her so much, and I still do. I wanted to show her so much appreciation. I wanted to, and I'm saying it in the past tense, but I'm just talking about because this is still present tense. But she gave me so much motivation because she believes in me. She poured into me. She covered me. There's a lot of things that she did that a lot of women in this day and age probably would not have. And for me, I'm not one of those individuals who take those type of things for granted. So the things that keep me motivated, I don't have time to be depressed. I don't have time to be. Now that doesn't mean that I can't be displeased with my position in life. No, that is not what that means. What that simply means is that sometimes you find yourself, in your self-reflection mode, or self-assessment mode, and you kind of got to put things in perspective and say, okay, what didn't I do that I could have done better? What could I have done to motivate myself? Is this person right? So if my companion says, "Hey, you should do something else because what I've observed over time is not working," well, guess what? You have a choice to say, "You know what? She's right," and then you can now say, "Well, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me just go ahead and give you, what I can do to motivate you. 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 What I can do to motiv
You're roboting a little bit.
Um,
You're roboting a
do
little
something a
bit.
little bit better, because obviously what I'm doing currently isn't working. So it would behoove me to change some of the things that I'm doing. That's called accountability for continuing to do the same things over and over again, and whatnot, because obviously those type of things just have not been working, and whatnot. Um, so for me, I just kind of keep myself motivated and grounded. Yeah. I'm
You're
sorry,
going in. You're going in
and
and
because
out.
as
Dedrick,
long as I got
Dedrick,
breath in my
Dedrick.
okay,
You're going in
yeah,
and out.
yeah, I'm here.
No, I'm saying you're going in and out.
All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
No, I heard you. I heard you. Can you
Oh,
hear
I
me
didn't know
now?
if you had heard me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Probably because no, you're good. You're good. Because I was on another screen trying to do something, but yeah. So my motivation is just that as long as I got breath in my body, as long as God blessed me to see another day, I got another chance. My motivation is to be better than the day before, and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. Just simply means do something different that's going to continue to push you towards the progress that you wish for yourself and your life and your family and whatever else it is in your life that you are motivated by. Again, I want my son to be proud of his father. I want to be proud of my son. But as a parent, you have to lead by example. And your children, they watch you when you don't think you're being watched. They watch how you handle certain situations, because that's going to influence how they handle certain situations. They're going to see if you contradict yourself. And kids, they'll call you out. A lot of times, some kids, they'll call you out, especially when you contradicting yourself. Don't you lie. Don't be around here lying. Then you mess around, turn around and lie. Well, mommy, you said that if and all you can do is be like, yeah, I know I said that. I better so you have to be very, very careful the life you live to tell them. Simply because it's not time to tell them. It's not that you're not going to tell them or share certain things with them, but you have to gauge when is the time that is right to tell your children certain things or teach them certain lessons, or expose them to certain things, because we can't live a life where we're sheltering our children. Because when you shelter your children, in my opinion, you handicap your children because you're not preparing them for what is going to throw at them, and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, when life throws it at them, and you haven't prepared them mentally for what could happen or what they could face, or what a circumstance or situation could be, now they don't know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? And you now have crippled your child because you are saying, "Oh, not my child. Oh no, my child would never." Or no, well, guess what? Now life is really lifing in your child's life, and you have not prepared your child adequately. So you have to gauge what is going to affect your child. You have to have a little bit of foresight. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my motivation in that stead is that I need to make sure I make positive decisions that's going to influence my child's life, my family's life, my companion's life. I want to make sure that they're proud of me. I want to make sure that I continue to stay up, keep my myself spiritually grounded, because for me, spirituality is everything to me. God is everything to me, because there are things that's happened in my life I can't explain, and you can't scientifically explain it because of the way things formulated themselves to work out for me in my favor. And a lot of the times people say, "Oh, that's just this," or "That's just," well, I'm not going to dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just try to stay motivated, because, and let me say this: when you make a decision to be successful or push the envelope to open another level or unlock another level in your life, you inadvertently give other people permission to do the same. Because you got to understand, some people have grown up around you, some people know you, for a very, very, very long time. And then when you push yourself to accomplish certain things, you inadvertently give that other person permission to accomplish the same or accomplish a goal that they were scared to do, or push the envelope to go and do. So you got to understand, like you have to stay motivated, because you don't know who's watching you. You have no idea who's watching you, who's paying attention to you, because you might be thinking you in your little bubble, but needless to say, you might be in a microscope because other people are watching. You know what I'm saying? So in that, so just stay motivated, stay encouraged. You know what I'm saying? I'm acknowledging you. You are great. You have greatness in you. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether or not you see it or not, you do. God has installed everything from the factory that you need to be successful. You just got to make the decision to do so. Pull the trigger. Well, I don't know what to do. Most of us don't, but you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So I'm gonna stop rambling. So and give the phenomenal a chance to respond and give you her perspective.
Yeah, let me get my response in before Maurice jump on here. So what keeps me grounded and let's say focused for success in life? My answer would have been different 16 years ago. My focus was always being successful. By working hard,
Mhm.
I've accomplished a lot of things in my life that I'm very proud of. For some people, they might not view it the same, but I served in the military. I was always in leadership positions. I was in retail management. I was a district manager. I employed hundreds upon hundreds of people, especially ours. I was a youth mentor for a while. So I've accomplished a lot of things, and at that time, those were my goals and what kept me focused and grounded, because it was important to me to make an impact or a difference on somebody else's life more than just mine. Now in my older age, and for uh, those watching, I didn't have my first child until I was 35. So I had a long time to do a lot of these things. And it wasn't until I met my husband, because I was not about to be nobody baby mama or a single mama. And it wasn't until I met my husband that I had my first child at 35. And honestly, everything now that keeps me grounded and focused is my family's happiness. Um, in how I can contribute to the household as a mother, as a caretaker, as a giver, as the nurturer, while my husband picks up the other half of that, because I'm also a stay-at-home mom. I have been a stay-at-home mom now for 5 years, and when the boys were born, I stayed home for almost 4 years until they went to school. So out of 16 years of marriage, 9 years of that I've been home. But it was also something that my husband and I discussed way before we even got married or had children. This was something we all agreed upon, that it was important for me to be at home with the children to raise them in their younger age. And then, if need be, if I need to go back to work, I'll go back to work. Um, but until that time, the focus and the priority is the home and the family. So I know some people, and I've had this question asked to me many times, where I say this, where like my family is my priority. My family is what keeps me focused and keeps me grounded. Their happiness, their comfort, their pleasure, their joy, their laughter. And a lot of people say, well, what about Jessica? What does Jessica want? Like, what brings her joy? And the only answer that I have is seeing my family happy brings me joy, you know. But again, I also started really late. I had already lived my life. I had already traveled. I've been partying. I had dated. I mean, I was in the army. I've seen many, many things. So then to have a family late, because let me tell y'all, if I wouldn't have met Billy, I probably wouldn't have had no kids. I promise you that. I did not want kids. I really did. Well, it's not that I didn't want kids. It's that I had so many, I won't say bad experiences, but just experiences with some men that I was like, there's no way on earth I would have a child with you. No way. No way. So at one point in time, I was like, I probably just will never have children. And then also, you know, my mother was very sick and I was taking care of her. She actually passed. I met Billy in May of 2009 and she passed in August of 2009. So for me, that was like I think God just sent him. He knew exactly what I needed. The gods knew who I needed, at what time I needed him, because up until then I had been taking care of my mother, you know. So I couldn't really focus on a relationship. I didn't want to drag somebody else into, you know, taking care of my mother and things like that. So again, you know, my answer 16, 17 years ago would be, you know, my focus was just being successful, which I was very much so. And now my focus is just making sure my family is happy. And that makes me happy. And making sure my ducks are happy and my chickens are happy, you know. Everybody has their own visual or their own idea of happiness and focus and grounded. Um, I'd also add that since we are talking about spirituality as well, and I don't want to change the sub. I'm not changing the subject by saying it, but when I let go of the dogma, the religion, I found myself in a better place as far as being grounded in focus, because I wasn't so focused, or I am no longer so focused on if I do this, I'm going to hell, or if I do this, or if I say this, um, then I'm wrong. You know, I just live every day by the one golden rule that I agree with: treat people the way you want to be treated. And also, you know, you're you're not a blessed person. Hold on. What's the saying? Ah, come on, Jessica, get it. Your blessings come when you can bless other people. So again, I'm always kind to people. If I can help somebody, I help them. If I can do something for them, I can't, you know, I'll do that, because my blessings don't come just because I'm here. It's because I try to be a blessing to others as well. So that's pretty much what I got on that topic.
I agree with you when it comes to that. I think I want to say, and if anybody is listening to this and they uh, know who actually quoted it, but I think it was Ziegler who said, um, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not going to state the exact quote, but you will have what you want when you help others get what they want. And the thing is that a lot of the times when you're unselfish to others, it always comes around full circle and blesses you right back. And you shouldn't do things for the purpose of receiving. You should do things because it's the right thing to do. And again, your character is built by the things that you do when you don't think other people are looking, when the cameras are off. We're not talking about social media. You giving a homeless person some money and you got your camera up here, filming you do it. We're not talking about nothing like that. You understand? It's about what you give of yourself. God will replenish. And for me, I feel like He will bless you exceedingly well by the things and the people that you bless. and stuff like that without expectation. And a lot of that is missed on a lot of people, unfortunately, because people are always in expectations, always transactional. People are always running around here doing things in a transactional mindset. And honestly, you really can't do that if you're expecting um, actual blessing. You need to be able to add value to other people's lives. And within doing so, what begins to happen is that people remember how you made them feel. People remember when nobody else encouraged them, you were the one that changed their life on that day. Now, you might think it was just a compliment. You might think that, oh, it wasn't anything. I was just encouraging them, because they're a nice person. You don't understand. When you interact with people, you don't know what they're going through. You have no clue what they're going through. And just a simple compliment, just a simple encouraging word, just a simple say. I've seen situations where a person said, you know what, you matter. You are so important. I am so glad I saw you today. You really lifted my spirits today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. What you doing tomorrow? You want to go to lunch tomorrow? And that person was just about to commit suicide. That person was just about to commit suicide. They literally made up in their mind that they were going to do it because they didn't feel like they were worth anything. They didn't feel like they mattered to anybody. And here you come saying something like, let's go out to lunch. It's on me. I enjoyed seeing you. I'm really glad I saw you today. You know what I'm saying? You look so nice. And you sitting there like, my world is crumbling. I can't take this anymore. I don't matter. So if I leave here, it's not going to affect anything. And here I come talking all this stuff about lunch tomorrow. So now I got to stick around.
Right, because I got to go to lunch.
I got to go to lunch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you could have saved somebody's life with a simple gesture. It's not always about you. And that's something that people have to understand. Sometimes it's not about you. It's just about pouring into somebody else. And it can be something just that simple. When somebody say pouring into somebody, again, it could be something as simple as a simple compliment or a simple encouraging word or a simple acknowledgement that they don't get in their regular lives. You don't understand how powerful the word of mouth is. A lot of people don't understand this, and it can change everything in the person's life. Right. That's why I say when women speak, a woman's word is powerful in a man's world. In the social climate that we're in, it seems like it isn't, but because so many people are desensitized. But when we have a woman in our lives as a man, what she says means everything to us. What she feels, if we care about that woman, if we're in love with that woman, if we love that woman, and I can talk about friendships even. If you really care about that woman and that woman has an input in your life, you're going to take that to heart. You understand? The power of a woman's tongue. Okay, maybe I should rephrase that. What a woman says matters a whole lot to a man, right? So that's why it's very, very important for mothers of boys to be very careful of the things that she imparts in boys, because those things stick with men. Those like when I went to college, one of the things my grandma said to me before I went to college, went off to Miami to college from South Carolina, was that all those big things, because I used to draw. And I used to draw all the time. I used to create. I was extremely talented. I still am. But the thing is before I went to college, she said this thing to me and it stuck with me to this day. She said, all those Sadians, because she could never pronounce Mercedes, all them Sadians and big houses and all that stuff you draw. She says, all those things are yours. You just have to put God first and go out there and claim it. It's yours. Now just think if she would have said the opposite, how that would have probably affected me. So we have to be very, very careful what we impart into our children, because our children absorb that. They're like wet cement. And once it's in there, a lot of the times it's there. So we have to be very, very careful when it comes to that. So we have to be encouraging the people. Most of all, be encouraging to yourself. I don't care what's going on in your life. Get up and purposefully tell yourself every day, you're wonderful, you're great, you're an inspiration to others, you are a beautiful person, you are a handsome person. Go out there and live life. Greatness is within you. Tell yourself that every day. You need to have personal affirmations for yourself. Because if you don't do that for yourself, how then can you do that for anyone else? You can't.
And not to
So
mention, they say that, words have power. Words have power. And if I wake up every morning and I say, oh, here we go again. I know this day gonna be messed up. I'm probably gonna get stuck in traffic, and then my boss gonna get on my nerves. Guess what? I just spoke it into existence. I just spoke it into existence. It's gonna happen because I already have that negative mindset to say everything in this day is gonna go wrong. Everything's gonna go wrong. Nothing's gonna go right. But if you wake up and you say today is gonna be a great day, now that doesn't mean you might not face a hurdle here or there. You might be caught in traffic.
Right.
But one of the things that I always say, and I tell people, I even explain this to my son, my husband, everything. You know what? Sometimes when you're stuck in traffic for a reason. That's God. And I ain't talking about religion because I'm spiritual. That's God. Because had you been the 20th car up front, you might have been in that car accident. Be happy you stuck in traffic.
Absolutely.
Be happy. Be happy you had to take a detour. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I get it. And it took me a while to get that too. Because, we got tempers. We're like, I'm late for work or blah, 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 whatever. But I had to get to a point where I'm like, well, you know what? There's a reason for everything. Everything happens for a reason. And once you can get to that mind state to where you understand that everything is not just something against you, that maybe it's for you. Maybe it's for you. Maybe you're running late because, like I just said, or use that example, because had you left 5 minutes earlier, you might have been in a car accident. That might have been you in that car accident. So we have to kind of try to change our mindset in that aspect to where everything isn't always against you. But that doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen. They're going to happen. We just have to get into the mindset of trying to see it from a different perspective instead of letting that, because now you done got stuck in traffic. Now you get to work. Now you got an attitude because you're mad. You didn't get to get your cappuccino because you didn't have time to stop. And then now your boss is getting on your nerves. You done cuss your boss out and now you fired. Like there's a ripple effect. All because you got stuck in traffic, which could have been a blessing in disguise. Because I know I've seen some times where I've been stuck in traffic and I get to the front and I'll be like, I be praying. Oh my God, I hope everybody's okay. This was a bad accident. I see why I was stuck. But maybe had I left 5 minutes earlier, that could have been me in that accident.
That's a fact. And I'm gonna tell you that was a conversation I had a while back with someone, because they it seemed like their whole day was destroyed because of the ripple effect that you just described. Because oh my God, I got to work it, and they didn't understand that they developed a lot of this stuff because number one, they left work, they left home late. It was on them really that they left home late. But like you just said, they left home late, but they could have avoided a huge pileup. They could have avoided a whole lot of different things. And people don't look at things in that perspective. Even if you're in rush hour traffic, you know what rush hour traffic is. You know it ain't rush hour, it's a parking lot. Okay, you know this already. Put in an audiobook, a favorite audiobook, pre-plan for rush hour. Like, be prepared to take your mind off the idiots that's going to inadvertently cut you off. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. And they're not going to give a crap. Like, and it happens every single day that I have to drive into Washington, D.C. Every single
I
day,
know it
there's
happened
idiots
to
on
you.
the road. And you sitting there asking yourself, why is there never a police officer around to see these fools? You sitting there asking yourself these questions. And then they're going to throw up a hand like you allowed them to do it. No, you did that. And had I not put on my brakes, it would have been an accident. Like the signal lights are optional.
Yeah, I
You know
know
what I'm
you
saying?
getting. You can't pay me to come to DC. I done can't. Look, no, I will
Yeah.
not drive up there.
Yeah. So you have to put out into the universe what you wish for it to return to you. If you go into situations like, for instance, yesterday I had a meeting with the media company about my business and stuff like that. After I was done with them, I went downstairs to a restaurant that they actually did some media for. They opened up about 4 months ago. It's a pretty new restaurant. I said, well, you know what? I'm feeling a little snackish. Let me go on down there and see what they got. Well, after I placed my order and was waiting for my order, there are two young ladies from Chicago. They came in, and I could see on their face something was wrong. They were disturbed about something. They was upset about something. They didn't say anything outright. I just simply asked them, "Hey, how you doing? You okay?" I did that, and I guess they wanted to talk about it to somebody. Well, what ended up happening was these were two black young ladies from Chicago, and three white ladies came into the restaurant that they were previously at, which obviously they left because they were in this particular restaurant now, or fast food place, however you want to call it. But and she explained to me that the host literally offered the white women menus, but they were standing there the whole time, and he didn't offer them anything, and she felt very, very disrespected. And judging by their demeanors, they were affected by it. They were really, really feeling it in their feelings about it. So what I told them, I said, listen, don't allow anybody to steal your joy. Okay. Don't allow anybody to steal your joy. That's a them problem. That's not a you problem. They did something. And what the most important thing for you to understand is your reaction to what happens to you in life is way more important to what actually happens to you. Because life is going to throw everything, the kitchen sink, the table, everything. Life is going to throw it all at you. So what are you going to do in response? What is your reaction to it? That's the most important part of it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're always affected by everything life throws at you, guess what's going to happen? You're always going to be affected. You're going to be always emotional about something. You're always going to be in your feelings about something. So do you really want the environment? Do you really want people? Do you really want what happens to affect you? Do you want rush hour to affect you? Or are you going to adjust and react in such a way that it doesn't affect you as much? It might irritate you a little bit, but it's not going to get you so pissed off that your whole day is thrown off. Because I know some people like that. One thing can happen and their whole day is downhill because they'll take it to the point to where everything starts to compound now. You got an attitude about what happened, which is going to lead to an attitude about you either being late or an attitude because something got on your clothes or something. It's always going to be something. You're going to keep compounding it because you can't wrap your brain around what just happened. You can't adjust because you're too busy being emotional about the situation. You have to adjust. That's something you have to do in this life. That's something I had to learn. And the less I was so reactive about things and so super sensitive about things, the less things affected me the way they affected a lot of other people.
Ooh, you said a mouthful right there. This is something that I teach my boys, and eventually will teach my. Well, I do teach Monica to an extent, but she's only 5.
Right.
It's all about how you react to a situation. You have to look at a
Mm-hmm.
situation and say, how do I need to react? Is it worth that reaction? Is it that serious? Is this something
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, it happened, it's done, and now I'm going to go about the rest of my day and make the best of that day? But like you said,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we'll stomp our toe in the morning and then the rest of the day is just fucked. I'm going to say it just like
Mm-hmm.
that. I
Right.
stomped my
Right.
toe this morning and I hate everybody and I don't want to go to work and my kids getting on my nerves and all types of stuff. But
Right.
react, differently. Like, you know what? That was kind of silly of me. I was a little bit clumsy. Okay, now what's next? Okay, I got to go to
Right.
work.
Right.
No problem. So reactions and emotional discipline is extremely important. When you're trying to navigate life, because how you react, and you know how I am. I believe in the universe, and what you put out into the universe is what the universe is going to give you back. So if you
Mm-hmm.
automatically react negatively, the universe is going to say, okay, so you said you're having a bad day? Okay, you're having a bad day then. And then your day's going to be bad. If you say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm not having a bad day, I had this one incident, it's not that big of a deal, we're going to move on and we're going to have a good day, then your day becomes
Mm-hmm.
better. Let me tell you, granted, I knew this before, but there was a lesson that one of my bosses taught me, my district manager, when I was a store manager at AutoZone. And it was kind of important because, like, you got to remember, when you go into an AutoZone, 9 times out of 10, you already in a bad mood, right? Because something's wrong with your car. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
might have had to call out of work. You might only have $300 in the bank, and now you got to spend that $300, and that was your grocery money, right?
Right. Right. Right.
And he used to tell me, well, not used to tell me, but like, when we were talking, he said, always treat people like they're having the worst day of their lives and give them
Mm-hmm.
kindness when they walk in the door, because you don't
Absolutely.
know what they are going through. So like I said, maybe that was their last $300 and they gotta drop $150 on a battery, or maybe they missed work, and maybe, who knows, maybe this was like that last one. Maybe they had been late a few times before, and it's like, oh my God, if I'm late now, they're gonna fire me, I'm gonna lose my job. So I approach people like that at the workplace, especially at AutoZone, because you just don't know what type of day somebody's having. And then, like, I know for myself, people gravitate to me. I can't really explain it, but I can be in a grocery store, but that's because I smile at people. I speak to people. Hey, how you doing? I mean, and then, like, let's say you ever been in a grocery store, and let's say you're going up and down the aisle shopping, right? And you happen to run into the same person in every aisle. Y'all might be going opposite directions, but y'all crisscross every single time in the
Mm-hmm.
next aisle. And you just make a little, oh, it's you again. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
those things, it's kind of like you're acknowledging their existence, if that makes sense.
Right. 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 Because I do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, we gotta stop running into each other like this. This is too
Right.
much,
Right.
in a joking manner. And it just acknowledges that that person exists. And kind of like you said earlier, you with a smile, a hello, how are you? Just acknowledging a person who might be going through the worst time in their lives. And like you said, they might have had plans later on that night to just
Yeah. Yeah.
themselves. And they
Yeah.
said, well, wait a minute, somebody actually really acknowledged me. Maybe it's not that bad,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Maybe there's something that I can do. Um, and I don't know. I'm an empath. Um, I believe, and I'm gonna say this, I believe I'm a chosen one. That's a conversation
Mm-hmm.
for a different day. But I believe that because people really do gravitate. I can be in Dollar Tree and somebody will tell me their entire life story. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta go, but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen, and I listen to them, and it don't matter what. Listen, and it don't matter. It could be an old person, a white person, a black person, a young person, an Asian person. The lady at the Asian shop, when I used to get my pedicures done, she'd tell me all her stuff. She'd be like, "Yeah, don't put the top, and I'd be like, "Oh, for real, girl? Oh my god," you know. But sometimes people just need that. But like we've closed ourselves off to other individuals so much that a lot of people don't feel like they have an outlet anymore. And sometimes people don't want to talk to their family members because we know how that works. Sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if a stranger, that's just how I feel. If a stranger is really willing to open up to you and just talk to you, I think that is because they don't feel like they have another option. So, having said that, if you have that happen to you, just listen for a few minutes. You don't have to listen to them for an hour, but just listen to them for a few minutes and extend them some kindness because they're obviously talking to you because they don't feel comfortable talking to somebody that's in their circle. That's how I look at it.
Well, also, Jessica, it's about your energy that you give off. And a lot of the times you ain't even trying to give off no particular type of energy, but it's the energy that you carry around. Because that has happened to me throughout my life as well. Like, because people feel like, and I've been told, and usually it's women, and they're telling me business I don't really think I'm supposed to know. And I'm looking around like, why are you telling me? I'm not telling them that, but the energy that they tell me is that they can talk to me about anything. First of all, I didn't engage you to talk to me about anything. However, I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough with me and you've observed me enough. And sometimes the observation is a few minutes. Sometimes you don't really have to know a person for a very long time to get a comfortable energy from somebody. So I think, especially with you being an empath, you absorb energy and you see energy and stuff like that. And the thing about empaths, you have to be very careful what you absorb. A lot of the times, sometimes empaths take on too much of other people's energy that is not good energy sometimes, and it affects you because now you're in your head about it or in your heart about it, and it's not something that you should be in your head or heart about. But because you care about people in general, or you give a crap about other people's plights and stuff like that, it affects you. So for me, I was that way until I was just like, okay, I have to be very, very careful about what I absorb because all energy ain't good energy, as you already know. So a lot of the time people start talking to you and telling you stuff you didn't ask for, but it's for the energy that you carry. Because some people just have naturally beautiful energy and they don't even have to give it off or want to give it away. They just carry themselves in such a way where you look like a person who's easy to talk to. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I think when that person started talking to you, I think that's how they felt. They felt an energy about you where they didn't feel threatened. They didn't feel like this is a person that's going to take what I say and going to manipulate it and going to no. They looked at it in an opposite way. They looked at it in a way it's like, you know what? She looks like somebody I can just go ahead and say something to, or vent to, or just talk to without any reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing, but it could be a curse sometimes. But it is what it is. I wouldn't want you to change how you are for nobody. Like that. That's an energy that the world needs. You know what I'm saying? And like we both said, you have no idea how what you say to people affects people. You have no idea. I got a lot of my customers based off the smile that I had on my face, based off the easygoing persona that I carry when I'm meeting new people. I don't come in there with the resting bee face. I don't do that. I come in there open. I come in there with a smile. I greet people. I look them in their eyes. And a lot of the times in their real life, A lot of people don't treat them that way. A lot of people don't talk to them. They talk at them. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the times they don't feel acknowledged. Like a lot of the times I'll give a random compliment, both men and women. You know, man, I love that shirt, man. When you gonna give it to me, man? Because I mean, I'll rock it too. You know, something just to get them smiling, something just to, you know what I'm saying? And once you get them smiling, okay, now you have an opening to say what you need to say, and make it worth their while. And nobody's telling you guys who's listening to just be Mr. In your face or Miss In your face. Y'all don't have personalities like that, and it's okay. We're not saying we're not saying do that. Sometimes a simple hi will suffice. Sometimes it's just the acknowledgement that you see another human being who is not on social media, that is in your space, and you acknowledge that they exist. It's a
Yep.
hello. It's a hi. How are you doing today? You don't know how many people who are walking past each other in a grocery aisle, walk right past each other, don't say a word. I hate that. And sometimes
If
I won't say nothing to see if they're going to say anything.
I don't know,
And most
maybe because I was raised differently, obviously, as you know. But I think a lot of it has to do also like with my retail management experience. I was always taught,
mm,
whether by my father or if you come to eye contact, you acknowledge that person.
absolutely. Yep.
And it could be a
Yep.
what's up? It could be a hi. It could be how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It doesn't have to be complex. But when you come to
Nope.
eye contact with somebody, you acknowledge that person. I still live in a neighborhood when they ride by, they honk the horn and wave. You know,
Right. Right. Right.
if they see you, they wave. Like I saw you, I have to wave. Like I don't know. And I remember there was I'm not gonna lie. There was one I was shopping one time and there was a young lady and she was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, she was so beautiful. I mean, she had her natural hair. Her face was just gorgeous. And I wanted to compliment her, right? But the face she had, the one that you just talked about, the rest in B face, I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
want to compliment her. I was
Right.
like, maybe if I compliment her, she think I'm trying to get at her. I don't know. Okay, let me just keep on going, right? Because that was I'm dead serious. Like she was too good to be talked to. That's how I felt. That's the vibe I got from her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but in my whatever I'm going through, like today, I went to the dentist. I went to the dentist. Young black girl is, doing all my information and stuff, and we're just in there chopping it up. And I said, "Oh, I love your hair. Your hair is so beautiful." I don't have to do that. Hey, just take my damn X-rays, right? I could do that. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
for dental work. I'm not here to compliment you. But what did it hurt? It didn't hurt anything, you know? So, like you said, a little compliment goes a long way. I'm not saying people got to go around complimenting people all day, but it doesn't hurt if you see something and say, oh, that's a beautiful shirt. Like you said, or that's a beautiful dress, especially if it's a girl with a dress with pockets. Oh my God, because then she's going to put her hands in the pockets to show you that it got pockets. And she's going to tell you she bought it for $7 at Marshall's, okay? She's going to tell
Mm-hmm.
you all that because she liked the dress too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think we've gotten so far past everything is like we have on blinders, like the horses. We just focus on whatever's in front of us instead of seeing what's around us. Um, and I think that honestly, I think that's a problem to a degree. Maybe not a problem, you know, in immediate, but a problem that we've gone away from. Like if I'm at the doctor's office, I remember one time I went to the doctor. No, I was at a car wash. I was getting we have Flag Stop here. I don't know if y'all got that there. And that's pretty much where they take your car, they wash it, they detail it. You're sitting inside and waiting for them to just call your name, and your car's done, and you can go home. And I saw that everybody was on their phone. So I started having a conversation. I got loud. I ain't gonna lie. I got loud.
Mhm.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Oh, that's awesome. And what you got going on? But before I did that, everybody was in their phones. When I did that, not everybody responded, but a large amount of people actually did respond. I'll never forget that one because I was like, I was looking around like kind of like, you're in a movie. And I was like, everybody's on their phone. Nobody's talking to each other, getting to know one another, having any conversations. Oh my God. Having No, I don't. Sorry, y'all. My son just came. Oh my God! If you don't cut some of that stuff off your hair, come, Dedrick. Look at this boy. No, look at this boy's hair. Please tell him to cut some. No, look at his hair.
It's not right.
Wow, he
What?
look like
Here.
a dandelion.
I haven't got it right yet. That's
Oh,
my pick.
He look like a dandelion. Wow, that's
oh
a
my
lot of
God!
hair.
You see, but you said I had dead ends, but it was shorter than this last time I had done it.
Go get the. I don't know where your pick is. I don't know. Do I use your pick? Does it look like I use your pick? I don't use your pick. I don't know where your pick is. Goodbye. I'm on my call. Love you. Cut some of that mess up. Stop.
I just want some of the hair. Let me give. Dang, I just missed it.
He looked like the little mushroom dude off of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Look like a ebony a dandelion. Look like a chocolate dandelion.
I don't even know. Oh, so in other words, just like we just got to get back to acknowledging people that they exist and stop being on our phones all the time and like just engage with one another. And again, it doesn't have to be an hour conversation. It could just be a simple hello, how you doing? You look nice. Don't tell nobody they ugly. I don't want you to do that. Just, but just get back into engaging with one another in a positive manner.
I agree. Like, so I mean, with all of that, I had an incident. I remember telling you about it because we talked about it before on a podcast last year sometime. But here's the thing. I had a situation where I was taking the metro at the time, and I was going to a different location on the metro because of course, when you ride the metro or the subway for any particular length of time, you tend to know where to position yourself for the stop that you're about to get off of, so you're closest to the stairs, so you don't have a long way to walk to get to the steps to go up, out, and out of the platform. So I was on my way. I came down the escalators and was going back into the direction of where I really wanted to be. And this young lady was looking directly at me. Now, how I know she was looking directly at me was she was following where I was with her eyes, and she was looking directly at me. And I nod and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Crickets, nothing, absolutely no acknowledgement whatsoever. Yet she was damn near looking straight through my soul, and I'm sitting here like. So when I walked past her, I had to stop. And I turned around and I came back to her. I said, "Excuse me." And she looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, "Excuse me. Hey, how you doing? You heard me speak to you, right?" Because I was just trying to figure out why you were looking directly at me, but I spoke to you, but you didn't say anything. You didn't like. I don't got to talk to you. I don't got to say nothing to you. I don't got to speak to you if I don't want to. And I'm just like, well, if you're gonna look at somebody in their face like you did, it's a little rude to not respond. I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't ask you for your number. I didn't ask you for your social security number. I didn't ask you for anything. But you looked me in my face, and I know you heard me. I don't got to say nothing to you. I don't know you. I don't know anybody on this platform, but it doesn't prohibit me from speaking to them if I'm literally looking at them in their face. And it was like, I was so baffled. I said, you know what? My bad. I got to stop expecting myself out of other people. My bad. My fault. You right. My fault. You don't got to even speak to me. You right. And I just walked away because I thought it was extremely rude for her to, oh, my friend is in the building. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You got, hey,
Hey,
Shanisa.
no camera. I'm sorry. I
Oh
just
my
woke up.
goodness.
Welcome.
Hi.
It's
Thank
okay. We're just
you.
glad you're
No
here.
problem. No problem. Well, Jessica,
I turn mine off sometimes too.
Jessica here. She is also exactly right. So you're not alone. But I'm glad to have some more estrogen in the room
Awesome.
because Jessica be lonely sometimes. So
Oh,
so yeah, we just talking about some positive things like speaking to people or what you put out into the universe, that kind of thing. Because we're big on spirituality and we're big on treating people well. So Jessica, Shanisa is someone I went to college with. She's a very special young lady. I went to college with her back in Miami,
oh, so is Dee.
and she's always been yes. So she's always been a sweetheart, always been a great soul. So I'm excited to have her on the stage tonight. So that's cool.
Well, I'm excited too. Like you said,
Thank you.
I'm usually the only woman here.
Oh,
So
no, that's not good.
yes,
We need to have a balance.
yes. So you should come more often because they be killing me up here sometimes.
I will. I will. I'm sorry. I haven't been following very much. So you were saying you were talking about ways in
That's my
which
fault.
to.
My fault.
No, 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 it's fine. You were talking about your last message was ways that people cope with challenges, something like that.
Yeah, we initially started out with
Oh,
what keeps you motivated or what keeps you grounded even through your challenges and just ways that you can affect other people in positive ways. What you put out into the universe, all those type of things.
well, um, if you've already moved past it, I don't want to make you regress
No,
on
we
your
want to
show.
Oh
hear
no,
it.
no, you're good. No, you're good. No, you're
But
good.
I think some people just naturally have hope. I
Mhm.
mean, hope is you have to have, even, how they say a mustard, what is it? A grain of, if you have faith, the
The size
size of
of
a
a mustard
mustard
seed.
seed,
The
or
size of a mustard seed.
if you even have hope the size of a mustard seed,
Mhm.
cry it out, scream it out. That's what works for me anyway. Cry it out,
Mhm.
scream it out, talk it out if you can. Most of the time you can't. Sometimes you have no one and it's just you. And
Right.
you just, you're forced to deal. And I'm dealing right now with lots of different things and
Right.
neglecting my friends all over the place, including
Mhm.
poor D. And but you just I'm not gonna be the the cliche and say, oh, you just can't give up. Sometimes don't call people who give up cowards, because or who take their lives cowards. That to me is, I don't mean brave in a positive way. It's really sad that it's so bad that that's the decision you decide, that's the decision you go with. But at the same time, if there's even a mustard seed of hope, um, just cling to that with all you have. And there's too many times, especially with men, I think they have the most problem with this, is that you keep your emotions bottled in. Um, and it's you gotta just scream it out, man. You just it helped me. I did this form of therapy just recently called CPT, cognitive processing therapy, and it's for
Mhm,
people, soldiers really, with PTSD.
mhm.
And it's a new form of therapy where they take you right back to the trauma and they keep you in the trauma, and you have to keep repeating that trauma in every session in different ways. And I did that for with my own demons. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you, by the third time I was sick of it. I was like, what am I doing? I'm 50 years old. I'm not 12 anymore. I'm not saying that you should forget what happened, or
Right.
that's not the point of it. The point of it is showing you the redundancy of how stuck you become when you
Right.
have
Right.
issues like that, when you have real issues, because PTSD is a disease. Even
Mhm.
though it's caused by trauma, it's like alcoholism, it changes your brain. you know so um but when you see that, when you physically, you can't understand it till you immerse yourself in it, until you see the redundancy of the repetition, the redundancy of it all, that you are keeping yourself stuck. And this is how, by you keep repeating the same story in your head or out loud, you just stuck. And when you see that and feel that, when you experience that, something in you like clicks, and it's like, I'm not saying I'm cured, but you know I can handle it now.
Right. Right.
And it
Well,
was that mustard seed of hope that I was losing really fast that helped me to continue and
Okay.
say, like, you know what, I'm only 50. My life is not over. It's just
Nope.
beginning.
No. Right.
It's never too, it's better late than never.
what I would
That's
say
my
to
two
that,
cents.
what I would say to that too, though,
Thank you.
is that we, I, I've had conversations on this. Well, this is our almost third year now, Desert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up on our third year, and
Hmm.
I've discussed some things that I probably wouldn't have been comfortable discussing prior to like therapy and
Mhm,
healing.
mhm.
But I just want to put out there that you never fully heal from some things. You just
Yes,
learn how to cope with them. You learn how to
exactly.
react to your emotions, or if you're feeling some type of way. So for example, let's say if I'm feeling
Don't
some type
hold
of
it
way one
in.
day, I might
Yeah.
go I might go clean my closet, because that might help me in my
Yes.
brain. It'll help me kind of declutter my brain, because I'm decluttering my closet. So it's never
And
really something that you're
yeah,
totally gonna get over, but you
but you
learn how
learn
to
how to
cope.
cope, and you learn over time, you learn more positive
Mhm.
coping mechanisms.
Right.
It might start off with crying and screaming it out and talking it out, but then after that, you're like, you know what? Like for me and Dee, I'm gonna go bake some.
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
it helps. It helps, and that's me. I know for some people, everybody's different. It's not a one size fits all when it comes to situations, because some situations people are, you're not just mentally stuck and you're physically stuck in there. And like soldiers who are physically in battle,
Well,
the
but
trauma is continuing, but once you get out, that's the challenge, to try to move on
well, and that's
in a
Hmm.
positive way.
another thing that we were saying, is that sometimes the people around you, whether friends or family or a stranger, can really have an effect on your life. So let's
Oh
say, for
yes.
example, I'm having a really, really bad day. Nobody knows what happened. I could have lost my dog, my mom, my dad, or I could have just had a flat tire,
Yeah.
But when somebody then comes and they are rude to you or treats you a certain type of way, now your day's even worse.
Oh God,
So
yes. Oh yes.
instead of,
Or you take it out on them.
right.
They
So,
get your wrath.
as a people, we need to start looking at things in a different manner to say, I don't know what this person may be going through in life. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna smile. That's all you gotta do. I'm just gonna smile at them. I'm gonna say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Um,
Are
instead
you
of just,
okay?
are you okay?
Yeah.
Right,
Instead of
right.
just not acknowledging that person exists, because like Dedrick
Yep.
said, for all we know, he or she might have had plans to themselves that
Yeah.
night, and just you
Oh
smiling
yeah.
at them and saying, hey,
It
how you
can
doing
change your
today?
whole
It
plan.
could
You can
change
change
the
your
whole
whole day.
plan. Like, oh
Yes.
my
Hmm.
God, somebody
And
acknowledged me.
it has for me. Somebody exactly that has happened to me. I'm not afraid to admit it now. I've been in the closet with this for so many years, and I tend
Hmm.
to isolate myself. And I think everyone in the world is. I don't know if I can use language on this, but everyone in the world
You
is
can.
shiz, and they're just it's not worth it anymore, and people are crap, and blah 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 blah, and I just don't want to do this anymore. It's not worth it. What's the point?
Right.
And especially if you're not, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't be. That's a personal choice. I'm not going to get into that debate, but especially if you're not a religious person, it can be a very lonely place when you don't feel like you have something to turn to, when you really don't believe that. And
Hmm.
that is a really lonely feeling. So it's not just believers, it's non-believers too that have that conundrum. And when you know when you find yourself in situations like that, and someone comes along and just does something nice, or just said, you know they turn the tables on you, and they just say something as simple as, like, I've done it to someone before, like, are you okay? you
Hmm.
know and they're like, it just takes, you can see it physically just takes them off guard. They're just like, whoa, hold on, where'd that come from?
Yes, yeah, yeah. And what? Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy how it
yeah.
happens, and I'm like,
And and
sometimes
and
I
and,
laugh,
and
I'm
what,
like,
what
and they laugh.
and what Jessica?
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Boo.
Mhm. And it's in those moments it can change the trajectory of their lives, and we don't think much
Yes.
about it sometimes, but it's
Yeah.
everything to them, right? So,
Of
and what we were
course. We
talking
need
about
to be
earlier,
there
I was
for each
saying that
other, even. Yeah.
it could be something. Yes, yes. It could be something as simple as, and I wrote a I'm now a published author,
Oh,
because
nice.
I'm a part of an
Congratulations,
anthology.
man.
Well, thank you, thank you. I'm part of an anthology about men's mental health, right? And my
Yes.
chapter, the her whole basis was, it's okay not to be okay.
It is
You
okay
don't
not
have
to
to
be
always
okay.
say I'm good all the time. We all know
Thank
that's
you.
code for, I'm not good, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
A lot of
right.
the times, yeah, a lot of the times when I say in my chapter, it starts off as, how are you doing? And
Yeah.
my thing is it's not just a tagline for
No, you want
acknowledging
to
that another
know.
human being is. I actually am asking for a reason. I'm serious. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Now, if you happen
Yeah.
to use me as your purge, then do so. I'm okay with that, because obviously you needed to not, you needed to get that out, right? So for me, a
Absolutely.
lot of the times when we say small things, it could be a small compliment. And this has happened over and over again, is that you don't
Yeah.
know how you've affected somebody's life until they come back to you later and says, you don't know how you've changed my life. I
Yes.
was literally
Yes.
going to leave
Oh my
because I
God.
had already
Yes.
told everybody goodbye. I've already, and they're looking at me like, why are you talking like that? And I didn't explain. But they said I was gonna. I had already got my insurance stuff together. I had already,
Mhm.
you know, literally, I didn't like my job anyway. I wasn't going to tell my job anything, but I
Mhm.
had already decided this was what I was going to do. And here you
Right.
come acting silly, and then and I was telling Jessica just now, like, it could be something as simple as, "Hey, how you doing?" And even if you said you're not doing well, you want to talk or whatever, or if you're bubbly like and silly like I used to be all the time, um, I'm
Yes.
sitting there joking. You have a very nice dress. I really love, girl. You put sunshine in the word sunshine, girl.
There
Something
you
stupid, right?
go. Yeah. No,
And
it's
then
not
you'll
stupid.
say,
It's
then
goofy.
then you'll
It's just
say,
goofy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So then you'll say, well, look, let's have lunch tomorrow. It's on me, blah blah blah. And me and Jessica just started busting out laughing. Now this person said, "But dang, I can't off myself today because I got lunch with them tomorrow." You
That's
don't
right.
know how the
I got to
simplest
go
things that
eat.
you say, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so and it's on them. So I might as well show up since I ain't got to spend that. I mean,
Well,
but
if I may, I'm sorry. Did I? If I'm cutting you off, I'll stop. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
it's cool. It's cool. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Kevin and I were just talking about something similar last night.
Mm-hmm.
We were, talking about sometimes it's cultural too, because we were watching The Sopranos all over again. And then it got me thinking, like in other cultures, straight, like alpha male, whatever you want to call it, men kiss each other, hug each other, hold each other's faces and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, tell me, talk to me, what's going on? But they hug each other, they hug it out, they express their emotions. We're not talking about, being gay or anything. It's just a culture where
No,
they
not at
don't
all.
hold back their emotions. And yet in the
Right.
Caribbean, in the US, in parts of like Europe, like England, the UK, stuff like that, people are just like so uptight. Men are very uptight about expressing their feelings. It must be like suck it up and deal with it and move on. And I'm
Wow.
thinking, you know, there's something to that, you know?
That's a very good point.
There's
I
something to
never
that.
thought
Like,
of that.
where did we get this notion that we can't be there? One brother can't be there for another brother. I don't care what your race is. We're all brothers. I mean, men are all brothers, women are all sisters. But we're all family. So, where's the disconnect? I don't understand. Where does it come from where men feel like in the West and in the Caribbean and stuff like that, this awful we blame Italians for having all this machismo, yet Italians will kiss each other on the mouth, the cheeks, they'll hug, they'll talk over a
Well,
glass of whiskey or wine or something. They'll friggin' talk and release it, and it doesn't make them feel less like a man. And yet in
mhm.
other cultures it's like, don't bring that shit to me. Really.
Well, well,
You
well,
know what though?
honestly, go
Damn
ahead.
it, boy. Sorry, my son. He get on my nerves. Lord have
I
mercy.
hear you. It's
Um,
okay.
go in the house. You look crazy as hell. Anyways, um, you made a very good point with that. I never looked at that. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Because I
Well,
mean,
well, here's the thing.
I've never been a Sopranos fan, but I'm half German, so I'm from
Oh,
Germany.
okay. Okay.
I was raised most of my life here, but I also spent a lot of time in Germany. And now you're kind of making me think back to like situations that I may have seen, and
Yes.
you're actually not wrong. It's just that
Yeah.
I think here, so in that aspect, what I think happens is you have this stigma of men in the Western world where, like you said, suck it up, be a man,
Yeah.
don't be a pussy. I'm gonna say the word because I know that's what a lot of
No,
people
yeah,
say it.
absolutely. That's how they say it.
Stop being a bee.
Yeah.
Instead, so
And
me,
they do that to women too. Like they don't know how to handle it because they can't even do it themselves.
right. So now here in my household, and I will say that there are times that Billy is a little guilty of that, but that's mostly with sports. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's with sports.
True.
Like
True.
like you signed up for this. You don't be crying because you got to run some laps. Shut the up
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
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 But overall, like if our sons have feelings, they're allowed to express their feelings
Good.
here.
I'm glad to hear that. I think
And
parents have a big responsibility and adults have a big responsibility in that,
right,
like we need to change a narrative with our kids. We
right,
can't have a one set of morals for the boy, one set of morals for the girls.
correct.
It starts in the home really, or it starts in your formative years, in your
Mhm.
immediate environment and the people around you. And if a boy cries, it's like, shut up, be a man, or don't play with dolls, or don't, da, 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 da." And
Mhm.
people just stifle everything inside of them. And men, especially, they suffocate all the feelings inside of them. My husband is ex-army too. I'm not going to tell his story. That's for him to tell. But, you know, it's the same. It's like, what happened? Where are your emotions? But I know it was probably bullied out of him. The
Well,
male
I mean,
role models that were around were just jerks.
so
It had an impact, and he learned to suffer in silence, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks because the pain. I'll tell you this. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog this
no,
session,
go
but
ahead.
part of the cognitive processing therapy, my therapist told me that think of yourself as a bottle of soda. Now shake it up. Okay, it's closed. So what's going to happen is it's going to bubble up, and you're going to see that pressure building, and there are little holes in the cap. So you're going to see where it's going to start trying to force itself out. So you're going to see it start to force out, and water is going to come out of all the little holes. That's where that's where what we do every day. All those little, you know,
Mhm.
the anger outbursts, the crying, or the whatever. It's trying to find a way out. And until you open that bottle and just let that fucker explode, you are not dealing with it.
Mhm. Well, I was gonna
Well,
say I'm hold on real quick because I don't want to forget. I'm also
Okay,
ex-army.
I'm the same way.
Um,
It's okay.
I'm also ex-army, and so like I do, and I was a drill sergeant. So I do
Wow.
different things. So like for example, my son, I don't know anybody who has kids that play on the Xbox. They get real emotional about that mess
Oh God.
or
Yes.
PlayStation, whatever they're playing. And I
Mm.
have one son. He kind of gets super sensitive sometimes. I'm on 3.5 acres of land. I got like about an acre and
Nice.
a half of just woods and trees. And
Wow.
I will put an axe in his hand, and I will go tell him to cut down a tree and bring me firewood.
Good.
In other words, it's okay for you to have emotions, but you need to
Yes.
learn how to control those
Right.
emotions.
In a
I
more
understand that
positive.
you're upset, but
Yes.
find a different outlet
Yeah.
to express those emotions. Now, if they
Right.
really get on my nerves, I'll have them count rice and rake leaves with a fork. Like I'm terrible when it comes to stuff like that. Like they they just be like, "Can you just beat me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not beating you because I don't beat my kids." I'm like, matter of fact,
No, I don't believe in that either.
look, one time, William, my eldest, was skipping PE. I said,
Mm.
"Oh, you want to skip PE? No problem. Let me go get my drill sergeant hat." I worked that boy so hard. Look, by the time I got done with him, his arms was shaking, his legs was wobbly. I said, so
Probably
you want to
crying
do
too.
you right? I said, you want to
Like,
do school PE or you want to do my PE? Because I was
that's
sitting
right.
outside with some sweet iced tea, chilling,
All right. I
and
bet you.
he said, I'll go to PE class. I said, that's what I thought. Thank you. Hmm.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
again, I address things like that in my military style. But again, going back to like what I
No,
was
but
saying is like,
sometimes you need that though. Sometimes people need that. It's okay to do that. Discipline is necessary as well, but and self-control. And you have sometimes it has to be kind of metaphorically beaten into you. But
mhm,
at the same time, it should be also okay to cry or
yep,
to scream or
that's right.
to just say, you know what, I am not okay. I am
Hmm.
not okay. My life sucks. It hurts. I
Hmm.
feel alone. I need somebody. I need some help.
Yep.
And
And
go
that's what
get
I like I
it.
said. And that's what I teach
Yeah.
the boys. That's why I say, hey, go out and get the axe. Go cut down a
It's
tree.
girls too. It's girls too. But yeah, boys really take a beating on this. It's like Jesus, poor guy. Like
I've
I
even
know you're suffering, and I can see it's coming out in all these other ways. You're not
I've
letting that
even
bottle explode and just let it out, because once it's out, the liquid settles,
right. And I've even
right?
corrected my husband a few times, and I don't go against my husband. Don't take it the wrong way.
No,
But I'll be like, hey babe, you probably this one you might want to just let him have his moment because
yeah,
he's allowed to have feelings. Okay, I get what
of
you're
course,
saying, and I get what you're trying to implement. But in this situation, maybe take a step back, give him a few minutes, and then go
right?
talk to him. Don't
Yeah,
make him feel like his feelings are invalid.
people
But
need time to
I
process.
never just say like, oh, you can't do this or do that because that's their father, and I trust them. Obviously, I trust their father.
Right.
But sometimes men can be a little over the top when it comes to it.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's how they were probably raised.
Yeah, that's how
That's
they
why
were
I'm like,
raised.
starting now that we're into this new awakening, this new age, where you would think, well, not think, but by and large, men are more open, or they're encouraged to be more open, as opposed to like 50 years ago, or even 20, 30 years ago when we were in college. It wasn't okay to just cry. Well, we had a different kind of dynamic at IFAC. We kind of were. It was okay. We had so many different people that we became so open minded. I don't know if we could get more open minded. Even
Yeah,
people who
absolutely.
weren't at first became that way because we behaved like a family, and we were there for each other, and we allowed each other to just be ourselves. And and that, I think, shaped us into very unique human beings. And that's why we can relate more to like the Gen Zers, and than, let's say, our parents could, you know and that's what we need moving forward, especially the younger audience listening. Moving forward, we have to change that attitude and that narrative towards the new generation, and let them know that it really is okay. You have to let all of that stuff bubbling up, so that once that explosion happens, the liquid becomes calm.
Now, before Dedrick talks, because I know he's ready to talk,
I know he's
I just,
ready.
I just want to add to that. I do, however, because I'm a logical person. Dedrick will tell you that. Like
Me
I'm
too.
not like an emotional person. I'm a logical person. I do
Mhm.
also teach my boys that there's a time and a place, and
Yeah.
that you don't want to just be emotional around the wrong person. Let's
Or
say you have
just
a
anywhere. Yeah.
girlfriend, and you may not want to be emotional around that girlfriend because that girlfriend may use it against you later on. So you still have to be
Absolutely.
aware of who you're, I guess, vulnerable to in
Right.
that
That's where
instance.
you got to pick your friends and pick your
That's where you got
partners
to pick
really
your
well.
friends and your family that you can actually trust in
Yes,
order to be vulnerable with.
I
So we don't
agree.
want to teach boys
100%.
that they can just break down and cry in front of everybody because it's gonna get
Well,
used
girls
against
shouldn't
them.
either.
No,
Girls
girls
shouldn't
either.
either, you know?
No.
Yeah. As human beings, there is a time and a place. But I mean, at the same time, sometimes people just snap. Just take them gently, if you can, out of the room, take them to your car, turn on some soft music, and just go, all right, breathe. Okay, now that you're breathing, talk to me. you know Remove them from the environment if you can, as gently as possible, rather than reprimanding them about it, because people do snap.
I agree.
you know
All
but
right.
you,
Look who you
So
D,
got.
your turn. Turn.
Look who you got.
what's up, Will?
Milk Dog crew.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's going on, Billy? How you feeling, man?
I'm good to go. What y'all talking about?
Well, right now we were talking about we were getting into the flux of men's mental health and just kind of we were talking about quite a few things. Well, should I say the ladies were talking about quite a few things for a while.
Yeah, I know.
So
Dedrick needs to talk.
no, let me tell you something. Jessica is extremely happy that she has someone to talk to. So I listen. I'll let y'all get it out. That's cool. Um,
Oh,
so,
Yeah,
Thank
because
you,
it's
so
Bill.
always y'all against me.
yeah, I see. I see.
no, that's not
Not
true.
against
It's
me.
always
Okay, not
Maurice against
against
you.
me.
It's-
Yeah, it's Maurice against me. You're
Yeah,
right.
Maurice is out today. Okay.
so let me say this real quick. So the thing is that because June has just went by and it was men's mental health, a lot of the stuff had been talked about. And the thing
Right.
is that with men, we don't give you multiple chances to hurt us. We don't give you multiple chances to scar us, right? So,
Right.
and let me make sure I explain what I'm saying. When a man gives you, let's use our finger as an example. You see the sections of our fingers, right?
Right.
A man will give you the tip, meaning he'll give you a little something to see how you handle that.
Hmm.
If you handle that correctly, we'll give you a little bit more. And that's how we do with our trust, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that when you show us that you will mishandle the information that you give us, when you show us that you're going to use that which we shared with you in our most vulnerable and transparent time against us as a weapon, you will never
Hmm.
have to worry about that man opening up to you again. Because once he backs away from you and falls back from you, it's almost damn near impossible for a man to open up that side of him to you ever again. And you may
I
lose
have
him
to
altogether.
agree. I
You
have
understand?
to
So
agree. And I've been
so
guilty
when
of
it
that
comes
too.
to
Yeah.
yeah, so when it comes to men's mental health and men expressing themselves, men being transparent, you have to be a vessel that can handle that. Because if
Exactly.
you use
And
it
not
as
shut him
a
down.
right, if
Yeah.
you use it as a vessel, if you use it as a weapon, if you use it
Yeah.
against
Oh
him,
my
if
God.
you show
Yeah.
him that what you're going to do is first deflect, dismiss,
Yeah.
and then turn it,
Yes.
make it about yourself, it's not going to
Yes.
happen again. When you say you all right, he gonna say I'm good.
Heard.
Go on by this
Heard.
business.
Heard.
He's gonna
That
he's gonna go by
spot
his
on,
business.
D.
And
I'm
and
learning.
the
I'm
other thing,
learning too. I'm learning too, because I was raised in the generation where men aren't supposed to have emotions. So I have a hard time also, you know, doing what you said too. And it's not coming from a malicious place. It's just the way that we were all raised, you know. And
well,
women can be very vicious.
yeah,
Sometimes women can be more
yeah,
vicious to each
yeah.
other and to men than men to men
And that's
and
what I
men
was
to women.
telling Jessica early. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I agree,
That's what I
100%.
was telling Jessica earlier. A lot of women, they might understand how important it is how a woman responds to us or how a woman talks to us. A woman's
Yes.
words means everything to us.
Yeah.
So when a woman is vicious with her words, and they can be, like you just said, it cuts deep. And
It
I'm gonna tell you,
does.
my
Yeah.
grandma told me one thing that I'll never forget, and I always use it to this day. She always says, "Out of the mouth, the heart speaks."
Yes.
I don't co-sign to, oh, I was just upset and I just said, no, no, no. If it wasn't in your heart to say to begin with, it would have never came out of your mouth. And for
Yeah.
me, I take that very, very seriously, because if it comes out of your mouth, you meant to say it.
Woo. So out of
Agreed.
your mouth, the
Billy,
mouth, the heart speaks. Woo.
Yeah.
I
yes,
like that.
That's deep.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
you
Billy,
teaching me something right now because I've been guilty of being dismissive and not hearing, not listening. And, women also
mhm.
need to get on board in a big way
Mhm.
when it comes to
Well,
men and how they feel.
let me,
Listen, even if you don't agree,
let me
just
tell you
just
something.
listen. Shut up and listen. Let the man talk.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
let me
Listen, real quick, hold
by
on,
the
real
way,
quick.
this is my husband. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
ask a
Billy. Yeah.
question. I'm not looking at him. I'm not looking at him. I'm not. I did not coax him. So, do you feel comfortable coming to me with like your feelings
Oh yeah, of
or
course.
things you don't feel like I'm dismissive or anything like
Of
that?
course, I do. Yeah, I can do that. I'm good with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean,
And let me
she's
say
good,
this
you
before I
know.
let Billy talk. Um, the biggest thing that I respect about you, Shanisa, and you, Jessica, and very few women, and even my lady Rhonda, is that you
Yeah.
don't have a problem being accountable.
No.
Accountability is like kryptonite to some women, and they will
Oh,
not
it's
admit
oh my
where
God.
they went
Yeah.
wrong. So therefore, they cannot fix what they cannot admit that they were responsible for. Because a lot of the times,
Exactly.
whenever a man
Yeah.
calls out a behavior problem, what starts to
Yeah.
happen is that dismissive attitude, that deflection, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden they're victims, or they start being vicious with their words because they don't
Or
want to
to
accept
start
any responsibility,
crying.
any accountability. You see what I'm saying?
Look,
So for me,
Yes.
I am very respectful. I truly respect women who can be accountable and have introspective perspective, because they can
Yeah.
look at themselves and say, you know what, I did this. I can admit that I did this, and I'm working on changing it, or I have changed it. Women like that are
Agree.
rare.
look.
That's true.
Let me tell you. I will
Thank you.
look real quick before Billy talk. I will my bad Billy to death. He'd be like, "You did such." I'd be like, "My bad. You right.
I
That
know I
was
probably
me.
apologized too much.
My bad. I'm sorry. You right. That was me."
No, but I
Yeah.
will give. I definitely give Jessica that. Like if she's wrong somewhere, she'll come to me like, all right, you know what? I was wrong on that one. I'll be like, okay, and I do the same thing too. You know, if I'm wrong, well, yeah, definitely, she'll definitely own it. I give her
Yeah.
that. Sometimes I be like, I can't believe she owned that one. She remember? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got it. You just have that's a good point. You really have to be accountable. And we as a human species need to be accountable for ourselves,
That's how we grow.
or we're never going to change. We're never going to move on in a positive way, which is what this whole thing is about. This whole
Mhm,
podcast is about in the first place,
mhm,
is to be positive. And we can't do that until we own our mistakes, correct our mistakes,
mhm.
and move on in a more productive, progressive, and understanding and accepting way. people always talk about tolerance. I don't like that word tolerance. And there was a movie with Sidney Poitier where he was like, no, it's not tolerance, it's acceptance. You know, tolerating something is just like saying, okay, I'll just tolerate you because like family at Thanksgiving. I'm just tolerating you because I'm related to you, but really deep down I hate you. You know, I think we need to get to the point where we accept differences, changes, opinions, all of it, and then we can really move forward in a truly positive and healthy way. Not just, okay, I'm just going to tolerate that because I can't change it.
Well, I'd add to that. We were talking earlier about, so for example, I'm an extreme empath.
Me too, Jesus. Oh my God.
And but here's the thing: is that a lot of people look at empaths as weak, right?
No, yeah, they do, but
We're
yeah, it's true. Yeah,
completely the opposite of weak.
we're
We
not.
will
Yes.
we will watch things, we will observe things, we
Oh
will
yeah.
give
You
chances.
feel it. You feel it.
But once you feel that disconnect, once you feel something isn't right, we will disconnect from you
That's
quickly.
right.
And
Very
we
quickly.
don't have to
Yep.
talk to you ever again.
Nope.
And
And
then
no,
they're
and
sitting there
no
wondering
problem either.
why we're not talking to them. But it's because we've observed them, we've seen their
Yeah.
path, we've seen what
You
they're
showed me who
about.
you are. Yeah.
You showed me who you are. I gave you chances.
Yeah. Oh
And then I
yes.
finally said, you know what? That is enough.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to cut you off. And that's another problem that I think that we have. We don't cut off the right people for the right
That's
reason.
right. That's right.
And
And there's nothing wrong with that either. You sometimes you gotta burn a bridge or
right.
10.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. There
Yeah.
are this is what I teach. Well, when I was a mentor, this is what I would teach people. You have three types of people that come in your life. You have people that come in your life that are going to be a negative impact on your life.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to get rid of the negative person that's impacting your life in a negative manner. Then you
Yeah.
have a person that is a positive impact on your life. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you're going to keep that person around because they're a positive impact. But what people tend to not realize is that third one is a person who has no impact on your life.
Yeah.
And those tend to be the people that we keep around
I know.
because they're not having a negative impact. They're not having a positive. They're just kind of
Or
there.
that
Like,
or that
yeah,
that we
okay.
realize.
Right. So you got this person in the middle who has no impact on your life, whether negative or positive, but we tend to keep that person in our life.
Because
That is the exact
some part of us
person,
is also seeking validation too. Yeah.
that is the exact person that you need to get out of your life, besides the negative person. Anybody
True.
that doesn't have a positive impact on your life, you get rid of them.
And sometimes we misunderstand what's positive because the person who will tell you the truth, you don't want to hear that.
That's why I got three. That's why I got like three friends. That's why I got three friends.
Me too.
That's why I got three friends. I'm so honest. It's terrible. I ain't got no friend. Look at one of them. She's 70 years old. The other one used to work for me, and the third one is Billy. I got three friends. Besides Dedrick, yeah, I have very good people that I am associated with. I'm not saying I'm talking about like friends that are in my immediate circle.
It's
I have
circle.
three
Yeah,
friends
totally. I understand. Yeah.
because I'm not playing that. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is, and if you don't like it, you know what you can go and do.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so the
Yeah.
thing is that when it comes to when it comes to friends and circles of friends, I got different kinds of circles. Some of them overlap, some of them don't. But the thing is that none of them, and I do mean none of my friends will ever tell anybody that I'm a two-faced person. I'm exactly who I
No,
say I am. And
you are.
those people who I consider my friends, they're the exact same way. They're not the same personalities, but they're the exact same way. They're not two-faced people. Because if they were, that says a lot more about me than it does them. They're already who they
Exactly.
are, right? So
Right.
if I'm accepted, I was just telling somebody yesterday, I do not associate with men. I don't have men in my circles who cheat on their women. I don't. I
Good,
don't. I
good.
don't. I
That's
don't. I
good.
don't. I don't associate with men who don't have integrity like that. And
That's
character
good.
is what's displayed when you don't think that no one is looking. You understand?
Yes,
My
I
thing is
agree.
that
Oh my God.
and the circles that you associate yourself with, it says more about you than it does them.
I
And for
agree.
me, I just cannot fathom being in negative people in circles. I just can't. And I have cut off people who thought that I had one long-term friend who was a friend of the family as well. She's known me for decades and know my family for decades. But I don't know what happened on this particular day that she snapped and she called my phone doing 150 on the phone. I'm like, hold, time out. Who do you think you're talking to? I said, first of all, my closest friends don't talk to me this way. I don't know
Right.
what got into you to think that what you're saying and how you saying it is okay or acceptable. I've never disrespected you. So why would you think that it's okay to disrespect me? And in all of our conversations that we've ever had, you know, you understand who I am. So now today, you're choosing to come out of pocket for some reason. I don't know what you're going through, but I'm the wrong one to come at like that. So
Yeah.
so she said, F you, and then she ended up hanging up the phone. I'm like, okay. Now, any of my
Mhm.
friends who know me, who talk to me regularly on the phone or whatever, they already know my philosophy when it comes to hanging up on me. You hang up on me, that's the last phone call you will get because I will not call you back. Now, if you
No,
call me back and you're apologizing or something like that, and you own your
different
stuff,
story. Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
fine. We're good,
Yeah.
clean slate. We're okay. But the
Yes.
moment you disrespect me, because I'm a big respect man person, most
Yeah.
men are, and
Yeah.
once you cross that line, we're good. I'm good on you. And once I put you in that place, because I compartmentalize very well. Once I put you over there, that's where you stay. I'm
Yeah.
not the person who goes running after somebody. If somebody want to walk out of my life, I allow them to walk out of my life. That was their
Don't let
choice. It wasn't my choice.
don't
I
let
didn't
the
tell you
door
out.
hit you or the good
Last
Lord
part.
split you.
There you
So
go. So
look,
yeah.
I have to respond to that because I remember when I met Billy and I met
Mhm.
his friends. They were all from college. They was all dogs, all of them.
Mhm.
Like every matter of fact, one, two, three, four of them. I ain't gonna say names. Four of them have cheated on their wives,
Oh
right?
Mhm.
my.
And when me and Billy started getting serious, like they used to joke on him and stuff. Remember, I think I told you they used to call him Grandpa because he
I'm
Mhm.
was like
sorry
the
to
one that wouldn't. He
cut it.
was
I,
What's
the
up,
one
I
Shanique?
that
gotta D, I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But let me know when the
Thank you.
next podcast is. It was nice
It,
meeting you,
nice meeting you
it,
everyone.
it,
too.
it'll be
I'm
every
sorry I
Thursday,
have to
8:30.
leave. This was great.
Hey,
All
if you
right.
ever
Thank
need
you for
somebody to
coming.
talk to, I'm available.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
so sweet. Thank you. And I look forward to being on here again.
Okay. I look forward to having you.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Take
All right.
care.
Have a
Bye.
good one now.
Bye bye. You
Bye bye.
too.
So what I was saying is that, like, I remember, like, he would tell me about their bachelor parties and how they was
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff at the bachelor party and have no business doing and stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
remember when we were getting married, I already knew what they was about, and they wanted to throw a bachelor party for him, and I got all of them together. I said, "Look, let me tell y'all something," because they used to always go do bachelor parties at a hotel room. I said, y'all could take them to every strip club, every bar. I don't care. But there will not be a party at a hotel room because I don't trust y'all. I told them flat out, I don't trust y'all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they brought him back home to me like around 2 o'clock in the morning. Matter of fact, the poor boy has some throw up on his shirt because Billy don't drink like that. He don't drink like that. So I think they gave him a couple too many shots.
Right.
But I say that to say that exactly what you said. Now they're not friends. I mean, they speak from time to time, but like when we have a cookout, they're not at the cookout. He literally
Mm-hmm.
separated himself from them because he saw the type of men that they were towards their
Mm-hmm.
wives.
Yep.
And he said, "I'm married now. I'm not single. So yeah, when I was single, you know, I'm not saying that y'all was right, but it didn't really affect me. But I'm married now, and I don't want to be associated with you guys. And then my wife thinks that because I'm associated with you, that I'm doing what y'all do because that's not what I
Mm-hmm.
do.
Right. Right.
So, and a lot of men don't realize how that guilty by association can really hit them. And like I said, matter of fact, I have to remind them sometimes, be like, hey, it's such and such birthday because they on my Facebook. So when the last time you talked to such and such? He'd be like, man, it's been a couple years. I'd be like, oh, okay. I was just asking. There's a couple of there's one because he's a bachelor. He's never married or anything like that. And he talks to
Mm-hmm.
him. But the other ones that like were married and cheated on their wives and stuff, he don't mess with them at
Mm-hmm.
all. You know. So I think that's
But I
an
get it.
important thing to point out too. If you want to live a certain way in your life, sometimes you have to disassociate with certain people. It'd be no different than
Yep.
if I had a whole bunch of single female friends that wanted to go to the club every weekend, but I'm married. I
Mm-hmm.
can't go to the club with y'all every weekend. No, I'm married now. I love y'all. And if you need me, give me a call. If you want to talk, give me a call. But as far as like being friends, I kind of gotta cut you a little short there.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Uh, Jess,
no
come on
Maurice
camera
today.
and continue to talk. No, come on camera and continue to talk about that philosophy. And give me a minute, okay?
Okay. So
Yeah, cause
in what I'm
just continue to
saying,
talk about that philosophy. I'll be right back.
you good. So in what I'm saying is that, especially when you get into a
Yeah, you good.
relationship, a marriage, especially a marriage, there are going to be some times that you may have a friend that you have to disassociate with. Um, Due to the fact that you have different priorities, different responsibilities, and your lives just no longer align. That doesn't mean that you cannot be friends. Now, if you know somebody who is constantly cheating on their husband, boyfriend, or vice versa, girlfriend, wife, and you're in a relationship, like that's not somebody that you want to keep around if you want your marriage or your relationship to last. Because birds of a feather flock together. And even if you're not doing those things, it can very well be assumed that you're doing those things because you're hanging around with those types of people. I can tell you for certain, I can't get my husband to leave the house. Nope. Every once in a blue, let's say there's a college reunion and they beg him to come to the to the reunion or whatever. Well, it's been quite a few years, but it's also because he knows the type of people that they are. And that doesn't mean he doesn't like them. That doesn't mean that he don't have love for them. It just means that I'm a married man. I have children, and therefore I can't participate in those things. Um, and you definitely ain't about to get me caught up because my wife knows exactly who you are as well. So, again, it sounds crazy. I mean, even as a woman, I have a really good friend of mine, and I'm not saying I had to dissociate with her because she was cheating or anything, but she was still single. And
Mm-hmm.
she, every time, because she lives in Pennsylvania, Philly, and every time she came, she wanted to go out. And I'm like, I can't really do all that. Yeah, I love seeing you. I love your company. And Billy, he would watch the kids or whatever the few times that she did come down. But it's not something that I could make a habit. I just did it because she came from Philly.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, she's here. She wants to go out to a bar. Okay, I'll take her to a bar. And I was bored. I ain't gonna lie, because I like going out with my husband. If he going, we all gonna go. But when you got
Right.
kids, somebody got to stay home. But so again, sometimes you just have to make those decisions. Again, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily a bad person. You just have to make decisions based on where you are in your relationship or if you're married. You know, because
Yeah.
me personally, if you're cheating or if I know you're cheating, you're not my friend. Because if you're gonna cheat on your husband or your wife, then you can't be my friend. You can't be my friend because what will you do to me?
Right. Right. Exactly.
You'll
Exactly.
cheat on the man that gave you kids and pay all your bills, but you gonna be a faithful and loyal friend to me?
Right. Who am I? Right.
Who am I? Soon as I turn my back, I got a knife in it.
Man.
Or you trying to get after what I got. And then I got to drag you up and down this driveway. And that ain't
Right.
gonna work out for nobody.
Right.
Because
If
don't
you're
let the
gonna
light
be
skin
deceitful,
fool you.
yeah, if you're gonna be deceitful with the person you lay next to every night,
What made me special?
right.
Nah, I don't
Yeah.
trust you.
Like you made a vow to God to this person. Like
Hmm.
I can technically be replaced. Like what? I mean, anybody can, but you made a vow to this person, and this is the person
Hmm.
that you're gonna deceive and lie to. That means I'm nobody.
Nobody.
And so, yeah, I can't have people like that in my circles, man. I can't, because that kind of integrity means a lot. Like you just can't. That's why I can't put myself in any compromising position that would jeopardize my family, jeopardize my relationship, jeopardize the rare type of woman I got. I'm gonna put myself in a stupid position because I want to hang out with the boys, and then all of a sudden you got a room full of half naked or naked women running around here taking pictures. You don't know how they gonna set you up, and so it could be anything. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm just like, no. And I remember telling you one time that when we first started dating, when Rhonda and I first started dating, I would tell her where I was. I'll give her some
Hmm.
snapshots of, not pictures per se, but I let her know where I was or where I was headed to next. And one day she said, well, you don't really have to do that. Like I trust you. I said, no, I do have to do that, because see, that's my way of solidifying your trust in me. Because there's been guys who've taken women's cars and had other women in their car. Disrespectful. So if one of your, and you got sorors everywhere. You got girlfriends all over the place. Now, what if one day one of them say, I know I saw him, I saw Dedrick in your car, but that wasn't you in the car. All it takes is one time. And that one
Yep.
time is the one time I didn't tell you that I had a female in the car. And that female happened to be my sister that I was taking home. But I didn't tell you that. Now it's the doubt that it places in a woman's mind. Once
Right.
doubt gets in a woman's mind, it's hard to kind of get that out. It's hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard. Now, if I got a track record of being straight up the whole way. And that one time, I might be able to get out of it because I can explain that that's my sister. I can call my sister without prompting my sister, and my sister can explain to you, yeah, he just took me home. Now she can clarify that without me on the spot, without me even prompting her to tell you the truth. That can be clarified. But what if that wasn't the case? You see what I'm saying? I can't get that trust back because now that doubt is always planted in the back of her mind. For me, I'm not risking it. If I'm with dudes and they about to do some shady stuff, yo, I gotta go. I forgot I had. I gotta go.
My
I ain't
mama
even about to
called
make
me.
up.
Look, my
Look,
mama called me.
I ain't about to make up no lie. I'm gonna tell her straight. I gotta go.
I'm
Y'all
just
on some
saying, my
stuff,
mama called. I left the stove on. I got to go. I ain't not messing with
man.
y'all.
And
But I
look,
mean, it's
I
no.
can't.
But hold on. It should be no different for women either. There have been
Yeah,
times, for example, where at my job, let's say I've given a young man a ride home, and I would let my husband know. Like, let's say he was doing me a favor. He stayed a little late. His ride
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
come and get him. And I'm like,
yeah.
hey, babe, I'm on my way home, but I got to drop such and such off, at his house because he really helped me out, right? Because
Right,
again,
right.
there was nothing going on, but let's say somebody did see me. Oh, I saw your car. I know your tags because I got personalized tags, of course. I know your
Mm,
tag, and she has some dude in the
yeah,
car.
right,
And then
right,
he's
right.
questioning me. No, 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 bro. I told you I was say this is an employee. This is his name.
Yep,
You can come
yep,
ask me yourself. That's
yep.
why I let you know because I didn't want anything to come back to you that's untrue. Because some people are
Absolutely,
out there to damage your relationship, to damage your life. They don't
absolutely,
care. They don't know. So
absolutely.
that's another thing as far as like relationships is like the transparency. I
Yes,
believe in that
yes.
wholeheartedly. Like
Yeah.
when me and Billy, first started dating. Well, not first started dating, but like I want to say like a little bit over a month in. After the little butterflies and the get to know each other, we had a legitimate conversation. I said, we've been telling each other everything good about ourselves, our favorite colors, our accomplishments, what our visions is for the future. I said, now let's talk about all of the bad things about us, our flaws, maybe things we've gone through, or whatever it may be. And we had that conversation.
Mhm.
My husband, there's nothing my husband doesn't know about me. So if Dedrick found out something about Jessica and he says, oh, that's terrible, I'm going to call Billy and tell Billy. Billy
Mhm.
going to be like, dude, I already know that. Why is you
Yep,
why is you even
yep,
trying to do this? And
yep,
he gonna hang up the phone on you because there's transparency.
yep.
And now
And that's
I'm not
exactly the
saying
way
you
it's
got
supposed
to
to be.
tell every single thing, but things that are important,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
be honest with, and you gotta not just highlight your good, highlight your bad too, because we all have flaws. We all maybe did some things.
yep.
Like let's say for example, you've been to jail. That's something you might want to tell somebody before you
That's
get
a
in a
fact.
serious relationship. Say
That's a
you would
fact.
look. I'm gonna take it a step further. Let's say you used to be a 304. That might be something you want to tell them, because ain't
Yeah,
nothing worse than and look. And if he accepts that, cool. But ain't nothing worse than you being out with your woman, and this can go both ways.
mm,
Say you the community penis. That might be something you want to tell the girl. Because ain't
right.
nothing worse than you being at Denny's or IHOP and be
Woo.
like, hey, everybody done hit that. Hey, girl, everybody done got a piece of that ding-a-lang. That's
Yeah,
embarrassing. At
yeah.
least
Very,
tell them. And then
very
if they
embarrassing.
accept it, then cool. Give them the opportunity to say, okay, I can deal with that or not.
Yep.
I don't know. That's my take on that part. I
No,
like transparency.
let me tell you something. That's facts because you don't want nothing crazy coming out at the worst time. You didn't invest all this time, energy, everything into this person. Come to find out, they the town doorknob. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like, yo,
So
how you know her?
long, long,
Yeah.
long story short, because I'm not going to get into details because I don't do my private life like that. Not this part at
Mhm.
least. My stepmother, me and you have talked about her many times.
Mhm.
I did some things in my life that I'm not very proud of.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy, but things that I wouldn't particularly tell people, obviously.
Right.
And when my stepmother and my father came to visit and they met Billy's parents, it was Thanksgiving, and we were also announcing our engagement at that time. My stepmother can't stand me, never has. So when they came, I remember we went to the Fields house to have Thanksgiving dinner there. And her and Billy's mom was sitting on the couch. And I'm like, okay, everything's going so great. My father's out in the garage talking football and stuff with the fellas, the kids is playing. Everything is great. And the next day, Billy called me when I was at work. And he said, you know that your stepmother threw you under the bus. And that my mother called me and told me everything that she said about you. And I was like, for real? And she was like, he said, yeah. I said, well, what did you say? He said, I told my mom not to worry because you had already told me all that. And it ain't that serious. And his mom was relieved, like, oh, I just didn't know if you knew, because you my son, I gotta look out for you. And like I said, it
Mhm.
wasn't nothing crazy. I ain't killed nobody or nothing like that.
Right.
But even the smallest thing she made seem like the biggest and worst thing about me.
Mhm.
So again, now let's say I hadn't told him any of that,
Right.
and he got this from his mother, he might be like, oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and cancel this engagement because you didn't tell me none of this. I didn't even know this part of you. So it's important to be transparent with the person that especially if you're somebody that you're planning to be with.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't saying dating. If you just dating them, I'm not telling you spill your guts. But if you
Right.
start to see that this might be going somewhere, like there's nothing worse than finding out something from your homeboy up the block or your homegirl, and you didn't know it. Now you look stupid, in a sense.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. A man want to feel like he has a prize when he chooses to marry a woman. He want to choose. He want to feel like he has something special. And if you the football team cheerleader, I don't think that's gonna go over too well. I
Mine
don't think
wasn't that.
that's
Mine wasn't that bad. Mine was legal stuff. So, but that's yeah. But still, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like you said,
So,
nobody wanted to. Oh, me, I hit that. My homeboy hit that. My brother hit that. My cousin hit that. You like, well, damn.
man. And and that's the problem I have with this OnlyFans society now. They think that just because they make millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars and all this other stuff, they think that supersedes the fact that you posted yourself all over the internet, having sex with others, having sex with yourself. Just all your nook and crannies is out there, all of it, for anybody at any given time to see. But you think you something special because you got money. First of all, men don't care about your freaking money. Number one, he cares about you as a woman and what you mean to him and the respect that you got for him. He can't look at you respectfully after you've already displayed yourself out there for the world to see. And a lot of these women don't understand. They're just
money strong. They just think about money, 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 money. And then I don't need no man to do nothing because I got my own. First of all, you can keep all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not proud of what you do. What you're
Right.
doing is not something that I'm proud of. I want to be proud of my woman. I want to walk out with my chest stuck out like this
That's
is the
my
one right
baby.
here. This is
That's
mine.
my baby.
You ain't
That's
got
right.
her, but I got her. That's mine. You know what I'm saying? Like a man wants to have pride in his woman and how she presents herself in public and around other people because she's your representation and vice versa. So if you're
Yeah, I
only
was gonna
fans
say,
to
and vice versa, because
yeah,
the women with sense. I'm gonna say the women with sense.
yeah,
We don't want the community dick. I'm just gonna
nope,
say it exactly
nope,
the way it is.
sure don't.
We
Nope.
don't want the 3 baby mamas, you done hit everything in the neighborhood. We don't want that. We want to be proud to say that that's our man. Yeah, you might have some experience with some women. Hey, who don't?
Right.
That's normal behavior. But if I got to go, if I can go to Walmart and I see 10 females and you done slept with 9 of them, I don't
Man.
want to. I don't want to.
Man.
And there's this thing where I guess they say like women prefer experienced men. There's a difference between experienced men and hoes.
And
I'm
reckless
just gonna
men.
say it.
Yeah.
And reckless men. Like if you just sticking stuff that now I'm about to go to the damn doctor because I need a checkup because you just put your little dangling in anything that can't climb up a tree fast enough. I'm good. Yeah.
And people don't understand how important that still is. Just because society has changed doesn't mean principles have. That
Nope.
still matters. It still literally matters. And folks talking about what you worry about my body count for? That's showing me how reckless you are. Everybody got their season of being single and doing what single people do. But
Correct.
at some point, do you got any freaking morals of like I don't even say morals. I want to say like, are you just reckless with yourself? Like
Discipline, sexual discipline.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because like again, I'm 50 years old. I've had my share, but I was very particular about who I dealt with.
Right.
There's a difference. I was particular. I wasn't out here just dang. I'm here. Like that's not something that I was into. I was very particular. I had my fun, but I was particular. So for me, it wasn't about just doing something just to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of folks they have these reckless lives and then they get these reckless results. And then they have babies after babies after babies after babies, or they have abortions after abortions after abortions after abortions, and they think that's cool. That junk ain't cool. And then, like I said, you got yourself posted all over the place. People got you like a lot of the time. People don't think about what they're doing in the moment that they're doing it, and then they think that other people are supposed to accept what comes with everything that you did. Sometimes you just gotta think. Nobody's saying not to have fun. Have fun.
Right.
But
be responsible.
Have sense too.
Yep. And I mean, like I said, you know, I married Billy when I was 33. Had my first kid when I was 35. My first kid. Never had an abortion. I never even had a pregnancy scare. Just like you said, I'm not saying that I'm a virgin. I wasn't a virgin when I met Billy. I had my fun, you know, as we all do.
Right.
But I was selective in who I had my fun with, and I was also protective of my body. You weren't just gonna skeet in me and leave me a baby mama. That's not happening. I don't want no diseases. So I was selective and I was protective. And men should be the same way. I mean, it makes sense to me, but you know, these new people generation, I don't know when the memo went out, that STD stopped, but yeah, because it's not just about pregnancy, it's about STDs too.
Yep.
And that's why we have like the highest freaking STDs because y'all just out raw dogging. But I'll say this and I'll land my plane. And people get mad at me when I say it, and I really don't care. So if y'all get mad, it's okay because Mrs. Fields don't have that many feelings. I blame the women more than the men because at the end of the day, guess what? If he wants to have sex with you and you say, I need you to wear a condom, and if he does not want to put one on, let me tell you something, sis. He does not give a damn about you. And my father taught me that. My father taught me that. He said, if a man wants to lay with you and he is not your husband and he wants to lay with you unprotected, he does not care about you. Because you don't know if he's gonna lay with you unprotected, he's probably laid with other women unprotected. So you don't know if he has an STD. Furthermore, if he gets you pregnant, he can walk away from you. You
That's a
can't
fact.
walk away from the responsibility.
That's
So
a
you
fact.
either have to have an abortion, which is not a good thing, or you have to raise a child on your own, which is not a good thing. So he does not care about you if he doesn't want to protect not just himself, but you. And I'll never forget, but that's why I miss that man with all my heart. That man had wisdom, and he made. Oh shit! The rooster couldn't fly up there. That's because you're fat. You're fat, baby. He couldn't make it up there. He tried. Try again, boo. So I'm sorry, y'all. I got chickens, roosters, and ducks. And so I just want ladies to remember that, if a man really truly cares about you, he's going to want to protect you just as much as he wants to protect himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. I don't know. It's just this culture right now. It's reckless culture. And then when you see all these interviews with these chicks and you listen to how they view men, how they view the world, the dating world, and then you listen to how emotionally unintelligent they are. You listen to how unintelligent they are in general. You listen to all the backwards thinking that they have. It's sad. And then and then they worry, then they sit there and complain about the quality of guys. Well, first of all, you ain't looking for quality, you're looking for money. You're looking for a sponsor. You're looking for somebody to allow you to be a pillow princess. You're looking for somebody that's going to just allow you to just do whatever you want to do without any consequence. I remember one girl was telling this guy, they was sitting in the car, and she was telling him why he checking up on her, why he checking up on, want to know where she at. I'm like, ma'am, just go and be single, please. Just go ahead and be single. Just stay single, stay out of the dating pool, leave men alone, because you're not ready to be in no relationship. Because for a woman to tell you something like that, she would have been let go on the spot. It's okay. You can go ahead and go on the spot. All right. Jessica Cook has a.
Say hi, Trump. I'm just putting him up. I'm still here with you. He heavy. You getting heavy. Lord have mercy, boy. Stop.
Yeah, he's a big one. So my thing is that when somebody tells you, don't let anybody have a second chance to tell you they don't want you or that they don't respect you. Don't give them a second chance. You understand? Because it only takes one time for me to be disrespected. It only takes one time. And now the only difference is that if something is said and she genuinely didn't know it would register as disrespectful to me, if it was something that obscure
that she didn't know that that was something that I would be disrespected by. That's the only time that a pass to be given. But if a woman is outright disrespectful to me and she knows she's being disrespectful to me, I'm done, because now I've lost respect for you. If I lost respect for you, I no longer trust you. If I no longer trust you, there's no more relationship. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the fact. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to friendships, all that good stuff. I used to think that the young lady that I mentioned earlier, I lost a friend. I didn't lose a friend, because a friend would not have even put me in that situation to begin with. They would not have even thought that they could disrespect me out of their mouths to begin with. None of my friends will tell you to this day, none of them. And I'm talking about from elementary school to now, those who are actually associates, acquaintances, all the way up to friendships. They will not ever tell you that I was ever disrespectful to them. And if I happen to say something that they took wrong, they addressed it on the spot, and we solved it on the spot. We never carry nothing over us. You got an attitude would be, you ain't calling me, you ain't doing, we ain't doing all that. If I said something wrong, tell me, excuse me, I didn't appreciate what you just said. That's the kind of friends I got. And all of them don't have the same personality. Like I mentioned before, they don't have the same personality, but their integrity and their characters are on point. I'm not saying all of them don't got past and they did this and that. Listen, as single men and women, we all have done what we did, or whatever the case is. But my thing is integrity and character is what counts for me. You know what I'm saying? And I look, respect goes a long way with me. I look, and like with Shanisa, the young lady that just got off the call, she has always been a sweetheart. She's always been sweet, respectful. She's always been a straight up young lady. You know, and like she said, there was lessons she had to learn, things that she had to be accountable for, and she did that. She was accountable for it. And a lot of people, for some reason, especially women, a lot of times, and from my viewpoint, from a man, I see a lot of women having a lot of problems being accountable. There's some men like that too, but it's almost like painful for women to be. Guys most likely to be like you just said, my bad. That was on me. Guys will do it fast, but yeah, I don't know what the problem is with some of these women. I don't know.
That's why I always say I identify as a man, because I don't have that problem.
Let's
I
not
was also
identify
raised.
as a man.
Well, but you know what I mean. I'm being sarcastic. But it's also because my father raised me. I was with my grandfathers. I had damn near all male cousins. So I was around a lot of males growing up. So they taught me accountability and logic.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when somebody says something, I'm like, yeah, I can't register with that, because that's not how my mind works. And of course they think that I'm lying. They're like, yeah, no, you're a woman, you're emotional. I'm like, yeah, no, not really. No. I know how to say I'm sorry. I know how to say my bad. I know how to say I'm wrong. I know those things. I even do it with my kids. There'll be the day where I might yell at one of the kids, and then I go back to them and be like, you know what, baby, I'm sorry. Mommy just had a headache, or I had a long day. I didn't mean to yell at you. It wasn't that serious. I love you. You forgive me? Yes, Mom. Okay. I'm going to try not to do that again. But when you see me, like with my head in my hand, that probably means don't mess with me at that point in time. So accountability goes in all different types of directions. It's not just spouses or relationships. It could be your children, your friends, your family, work. You got to have, what I always say, what's my 5? Self-reflection, accountability, integrity, consistency, and honesty. If you have those 5 things, you can't go wrong in life.
For sure. But that's just true. That's just all the way true. I just can't. I don't know. And again, it's one of those things that you get to pick and choose who you allow in your life, and what level that you allow them into your life. You don't get to say, "Oh, these women, they just blood sucking hoes and this, that, and the third." Well, are you allowing them to be that in your life? Are you allowing those women to come in your life and be that? You can't sit there and point the finger at these men. Oh, men ain't this and men ain't that. Well, where's your discernment when it comes to allowing who comes into your life? Women are the gatekeepers to sex, not men. You allow whoever it is into that gate. You allow whoever it is to have access to your ovary. You can't sit there and be like, you looking at 4 kids and 4 different baby daddies. At what point are you going to be accountable? And for those of you who are listening, if you want to be offended, go right ahead. I don't care. But at some point, you have to be accountable. You do. Now, that's not saying that I'm taking any responsibility away from the guy, because those guys have a responsibility too. You need to guard your seed. Oh, wow.
That's Chickaletta. Say hi.
You said that's who?
Chickaletta.
Hey,
My
Chickaletta.
Oh, you heard that? You heard that girl? That's right. Talk to him. You do that pretty good.
Hey.
Hey, I gotta add a little country flavor to the show. Let me put her up. Keep talking. Come, baby.
But I mean, so my thing is, you can't continue to lead very irresponsible lifestyles. That goes for men and women. Let me make sure I say that, because we're not ever going to talk on one side of the fence all the time. We're not doing that. Because I hold men accountable too. I'm not perfect, but one thing I am is I have integrity. One thing I am is very honest. One thing I'm not going to do is lie to you. You can't sit there and continue to be reckless and then blame everybody else and take no accountability. You can't do that. So anyway, for right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some, we're going to pause for some station identification, then we're going to get out of y'all hair for the night. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my lady, McQueen, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, who is the founder and the proprietor of Meet the World Image Solutions. She is the source. She is the resource that you need for your literary needs. So if you're an author, upcoming author, you're thinking about becoming an author, you think you got a story, she can help you put it together, edit it. She can help with your ghostwriting. She can help with all of those things. Go to www.mtwimagesolutions.com. That's MTW Image, IMAGE Solutions, SOLUTIONS.com. That's MTWs for Meet the World Image Solutions.com. Okay, go and check them out. Check out the merchandise, y'all. She got some fabulous merch, and things like that for those of you, right? Those of you like coffee, those of you who just want something beautiful. And get your Christmas wrap early. You know what I'm saying? Because those of you who are ebony centric, African American centric, we got some amazing gift wrap on her site that you're gonna want to see. It's amazing. So please go there, peruse, and shop around and stuff like that. Buy some merch. Sign up for her courses. Do that, please. Once again, for the last time, www.mtwimagesolutions.com. All right, for Meet the World Image Solutions.com. All right, or just Google it, Meet the World Image Solutions, and go ahead and get your author, your literary works started. Okay. Also, my baby, my jam. Mr. Crave's Cookies, where it's a party in your mouth. I provide gourmet homemade cookies. I ship all over the United States and whatnot. I ship. These cookies are amazing. I actually have some right here. These are my chocolate chip cookies. Excuse me. And also, I'm running a platter promotion. Just because you're in another state doesn't mean you can't receive a platter. I have amazing platters. My base platter is $75. Regular price $90. That includes 3 different kinds of three different flavors of cookies, 3 dozen on that base platter. I call that platter the original. Also, guys, please stay tuned. I'm going to be in the running for a new TV show. That's not a new TV show, a TV show that's coming out. And I'll need your help, guys. I need your donations. I need y'all to order. If y'all don't want to give money, order some cookies so I can go ahead and get y'all some cookies, guys. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in and whatnot, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and whatnot. So back to what we were saying. I'm going to close out in about 5 minutes, maybe less. But yes, guys, just practice being a decent human being, because you never know what someone is going through. You might be going through hell in a handbasket. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from you, but sometimes when you give off good energy, you get it back, and that's a common rule. You know what I'm saying? When you give off what you give up, what you put out into the universe, it reflects right back to you. You have to understand that. And this is not just something to say. It's not a cliche or whatever the case is. Understand that your energy is a direct reflection of what the universe is going to kick back to you. You can't expect, like for instance, and I'll give you a few examples. You can't expect to say, well, I want a good man, but you're not a good woman. You can't say, man, I want me a great woman, you know, this, that, and the third, but you ain't a good man. How does that work? You know what I'm saying? You can't sit there and say, well, I want to be rich, but you have minimum wage work ethic, but you want $1 million bank account. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that you can't do that is contradictory to what you put out into the universe. Be careful what you put out into the universe. All of you that's saying, I don't want this, guess what? All that I don't want, blah, 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 you're going to get more of it. You're going to get more of it. Every time you say, I don't want, the universe is going to be like, yeah, you going to get. That's what you're going to get. All right? So how about twist it? How about turn it and reverse it and say, you know what? I want this. I am this. Whatever it is that you choose to be, you have to claim it first. No millionaire ever became a millionaire without mentally becoming the millionaire first. Hear what I just said. No millionaire has ever became a millionaire without first becoming a millionaire mentally first. You have to prepare yourself before you get there. You can't sit there and be like, well, I'm going to be a millionaire. You never read a book that incorporates the principles that millionaires incorporate into their lives. You have to study that. Anything that you want in your life, always read up on it, research on it. Make sure you brainwash yourself, meaning you got to clean out the gunk that's in your brain first. You got to clean that out. Because if somebody ever told me I'm brainwashed, because Jessica and I, we go down rabbit holes regularly. And if somebody tell us we brainwashed, you right. We washed out all the lies. We washed out all of the hypocritical thinking, the traditional thinking. We washed out all the stuff that mainstream media tells us, and we're doing critical thinking. We're sorting it out. We're doing critical thinking. That's what our brainwashing is. So if you want to go down that path, you need to change your thinking, change your perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's in every realm. Relationships, family, friendships, business, work, it doesn't matter. If you want a particular result, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your perspective. Don't be in rush hour getting mad at rush hour for being rush hour. Adjust. You knew it was going to be rush hour. Put in an audio tape. I said tape, didn't I? Put in an audio file.
You did. You just showed
I
your
just showed my
age.
age. I just showed my age. Lord
You
Jesus.
did.
Okay, fine. You know what? I'm shut up now. My age is showing, but yeah, but y'all know what I'm saying. Just adjust. Don't always be so super sensitive that you are emotionally reacting to everything. Life is going to throw the book at you. It's about how you respond to what life throws at you. All right, Jessica.
Well, I would just add real quick. I'm with you all. You already know everything you said. I'm with. Um, when it comes to we say speak things into existence and the universe and what you put out. I'm gonna tell y'all what I do. I demand. I don't ask. I demand that my children are healthy. I demand that my husband is safe. I demand that our bills are paid. And when I say demand, it's not saying like I'm going to my husband, I demand you to pay the bills. No, I demand that we have the means to do so. I'm not asking you. I'm not groveling and say, please, Lord, help me pay these bills. No, I demand that you take care of my children. I demand that my ancestors, or however, anybody, that can even be Christianity, whatever you follow. I demand it. I don't ask of you. I demand that you do this because you told me, ask and you shall receive.
That's right.
So I demand it of you. I'm not asking you. And I'm telling you, when you change the mindset of groveling and asking for things, you're not putting yourself into a situation to where you're going to receive it because you're asking for it. Guess what? When you ask for something, what can happen? They can say what? No. When you demand it, yeah, they could say no, but it's not likely going to happen. So you have to start demanding the things in your life. And if you demand, if you're in a let's say you're in a job that you absolutely hate and you want to get out of that job, and say you want to get down on your knees or lay in the bed, however you pray, you say, I demand a new job. But at the same time, then you still got to go out and do the work because it's not going to fall in your lap. Still got to go out and do the work. But when you it's just that wording, because words have power. When you demand these things, I have found that they come to fruition versus me just, oh, please, can I hit the lottery? That's kind of like asking them to hit the lottery, right? I can beg you and pray and say, please let me hit the lottery. If I don't go play it, I can't hit the lottery. If I don't go buy the ticket, I don't hit the lottery. No matter how much I pray for it, doesn't happen. So you still have to do the work, but you also have to have a positive outlook and speak those things into your lives. Not asking, not in depression, and just speak what it is that you want in your life. But again, then you also have to take action. And that's all I got to, because everything else was something I would have said too. So
So once again, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's been a fun one. And check us out next week. And where we're gonna have some special guests next week. I'm working on and whatnot. So as we continue this series of what we were talking about, because it's very important stuff that we're talking about. And I enjoyed the subject matter. I want to say thank you to my long time friend, my college friend from college. Shanisa. See, you can tell it's getting late. You can tell it's getting late. So I just want to thank her for gracing us with her presence and adding some more estrogen to the show. So that Miss Fields had some company. But thank you again for joining us, guys. Y'all have a great night. We gonna see y'all next week. All right, and yeah, we're gonna get our outro and intro back up soon. and whatnot. So StreamYard mess with me, man. But anyway, y'all have a great one. This is your host, Dedrick the Cookie Man, and that is phenomenally Mrs. Fields. Y'all have a great